The drama surrounding a head-to-head collision didn't just stop the arena, it rewired the night. Lexi Hull and Gabby Williams chased a loose ball under the basket, a split second of chaos, then the sound, skull to skull. Both dropped. Both stayed down. Cameras caught Hull walking off with a swelling knot rising on her forehead, the kind you feel before you ever see. Gainbridge Fieldhouse went quiet. With Caitlyn Clark still sidelined by a groin injury, with Sophie Cunningham, Aari McDonald, and Cydney Colson already out for the year, and Khloe Bby managing her knee, the fever had been balancing on a wire for weeks. If Hull couldn't return, that wire might snap. Minutes later, she came back. No theatrics, no grimace. Just Lexi Hull, with a visible welt, diving for a 50-50 ball on her first defensive possession, like nothing had happened. The crowd rose as if someone had thrown a switch. Hull later laughed about it. "I knew it was going to be big. I could see it just from my own eyes," she said. But the decision wasn't cute or cosmetic, it was a declaration. "If I feel like I can play," she told reporters. "Whether or not I look good or not isn't the problem. If it's playing a little injured, playing a little hurt, that is what it is. That one choice, play through, play on, told you everything about this version of the Indiana fever. No Clark, half the guard rotation gone. Nike's big Caitlyn. Clark logo night unfolding around them like a coronation without its queen. And still, by the final horn, a 95-75 win over the Seattle Storm and a season sweep 3-0. A game that was supposed to be an event became a statement. The context mattered. Indiana had dropped 4 of 5 and slid to 19-18, clinging to the 8th and final playoff spot, while Seattle sat directly ahead at 6. Every possession felt like a tiebreaker in disguise. Aaliyah Boston didn't need a reminder. "This was going to be a big game for us considering the standings," she said afterward, before flattening the moment back into the team's mantra. "Be where your feet are. Focus on the game in front of you. After Seattle, Los Angeles. One at a time." Stephanie White, steady on the sideline, saw the trap and steered around it. With floor spacers and ball handlers out, Indiana would have to win with defense, glass, and interior force. That meant Boston, her timing, her angles, her deep catches, had to become the offense's center of gravity. It also meant someone had to bring the friction on the perimeter, the connective tissue no box score loves but every win needs. That someone was Hull. "Disgusting," White said of the collision. "But it's who she is. A tough young woman who battles every possession." Hull returned with 9 rebounds and a team-best +31, closing space, turning deflections into runouts, sliding into mismatched lineups and making them make sense. Aaliyah Boston didn't hesitate either. Lexie is the definition of tough. That toughness bled into everything. By halftime, you could feel the Storm being shoved out of their rhythm. Indiana out-rebounded Seattle 42-21 on the night, an absurd gap at this level, and stacked second-chance points until the game tilted. Guards tried to drive and found bodies. Closeouts ran them off the arc. When Seattle tried to respond with pace, Indiana cut off the oxygen. The Storm finished with just 3 fast break points. This wasn't clinging, it was control. And at the core, Boston turned the paint into private property. 27 points, 9 boards, deep seals that dared, helped to come and still arrived too late. She used the extra dribble when it mattered, moved shot blockers under the cylinder, and punished single coverage until doubles had to come. Then the reads, high-low, kickouts, quick pivots into space she carved herself. When she plays like that, there's nobody that can stop her, White said. She set the tone for us on both ends. She didn't carry it alone. Odyssey Sims, signed late, playing like she'd been there for years, dropped 22 by living on the front foot. Transition, pushes, slashes into seams, and one shot from the logo that detonated the building and folded Seattle's shoulders. Every time the Storm's bench leaned forward, Sims shoved them back. Kelsey Mitchell added 21 on the edges of the floor map, the steady flame that kept the geometry honest. No Clark meant fewer built-in threes. Mitchell's timing and touch meant the lane never closed. When Seattle flirted with momentum, she cut it. This is what a team looks like when identity solidifies under pressure. Stops turned into breaks, drives turned into fouls. "We made more free throws than they attempted," White told the room afterward. 22 assists on 36 makes. Total team effort. On a night layered with promotion and spectacle, the Fever authored their most complete performance in weeks and did it with a rotation held together by grit and intent. What made it resonate even more was the split-screen feeling of the evening. Clark's new Nike logo draped across railings, whiteout shirts in every seat, fans snapping selfies under branded backdrops, and Caitlyn herself on the sideline in a warm-up, smiling, cheering, present, but absent. White explained the plan before. Tip, I want to see her live in practice, to handle contact 94 feet, to sustain through fatigue. And after the game, the update mattered as much as the score. For the first time since mid-July, Clark rejoined live workouts. No dates, no guarantees, just progress measured by contact and recovery, with 6 games left and the standings compressed enough that a 2-game swing can drop you 3 lines. Until she's back, Indiana will have to ride what works. For one night, it worked like a drumline. Boston's pacing, Sims's tempo, Mitchell's edges, Hull's relentlessness. The Fever outmuscled and outmanaged a veteran Seattle team fighting for the same playoff tier and did it by hammering the controllables. Rebounds, physicality, rotation integrity. By the end, the 20-point margin didn't feel like a surprise. It felt like the logical conclusion of an interior plan executed without flinch. The quote said the rest. Boston on Hull. A pest on defense, just making her presence felt. That's who Lexi is. Hull on the decision to return. The team is the most important thing. White on the standard. Gratitude for the moment off the court. Clarity about the work on it.